Oh man, you guys are really going to hate this one. I know how much you love Julie Chrisley, but here goes. Julie Chrisley appeared in a federal court today for her resentencing because she was granted a resentencing when her case went up on appeal, and the judge sentenced her to the same exact amount of time, holding that that time was sufficient and she is not entitled to any reduction of time. Her kids were in the courtroom today. I'm sure this was very difficult for them, especially because she came into court unrecognizable with brown hair. And they were expecting a reduction in sentence, and they didn't get it. But here's why. Todd and Julie Chrisley were accused of bilking banks out of $30 million. That's a lot of fucking change. $30 million that they stole from these banks. And in the federal government, these sentences are based on sentencing guidelines to promote uniformity in sentencing. And for financial crimes, they're based on the amount of the loss, that $30 million. But look at the categories. These sentencing guidelines go from 25 million to 65 million. She's in between there, so she's in the 65 million category. So she would have had to drop all the way down to below 25 million to even affect her sentencing at all. But here's the sentencing guidelines chart that we've talked about so many times. If you go from this column to this column, that's criminal history. How many priors did she have? If you go from top to bottom, it's going to get heavier in sentencing because this is, in this case, the amount of loss. So she's somewhere down here. Now, because he knew that he wasn't likely to get her dropped down in the financial amount category, the lawyer argued that she was entitled to a minimal role reduction. In other words, there's a conspiracy here, but her role was so minimal that we should give her a little bit of slack. Well, no, because there were only 3 people in this entire conspiracy, and it's hard to have a minimal role when there's only 3 people. So I know you're not going to like me for saying this because she might be a nice person, but she still broke the law. And she got the appropriate sentence for her crime under the guidelines. The sentence fits. In court today, Julie cried in front of the judge, said, "This has been the worst 20 months of my life." It ain't going to get any easier, friend. Worst 20 months of her life. But she also put up letters from psychologists that had been seeing her children and talked about what a horrible effect this has had on her kids. And I do hate that for her. I'm sure it's been difficult. The judge wasn't buying it. The judge said, "I do sympathize with you and sympathize with the kids, but most people don't even have the money or the means to provide this treatment to their children when they go to prison."